what are your thoughts about the AEW commentary team of Excalibur, JR, and Tony Schiavone? Because
I've
because I have mixed feelings about it, but I want to get your
yeah,
thoughts on it.
and we've talked at it. I won't say we actually talked about it. We've talked at it or around it for weeks actually. So here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The three people in question, especially especially with Jr. at this time in his career, and Shivani at this time in his career, to me they don't work unless they're together. The combination of the three work well. Now, with that being said, there are times where the Excalibur will mess up a name or move, or mess up a person's name or stuff like that. And there are times where you just don't hear JR at all. You hear just Shivani and Excalibur. And then Shivani has always been hit or miss for me. It's not that I don't like Shivani. I think Shivani knows what he's talking about for the most part. But I always thought he was hit or miss, even when he was carrying WCW for the most part, because Mike Tenay was not doing it. Bobby Brain Heenan, him and Bobby Brain Heenan were good together. Him and Larry Zbyszko were interesting together. How did I know he was? I mean, and Larry to me was just terrible, but I mean, he was.
Barry Larry, man. We should have a segment called Barry Larry.
Barry Larry. But no, it was just. But yeah, I think we're in the same boat where they're okay, but I think it's time to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah. So my views are kind of similar to yours. I think that AEW in its inception, having JR there was very important. You had to have JR there. It gave credibility not only to AEW, not only to the wrestlers, but the overall product you were trying to sell. It made it mainstream because JR was there. So it has a reason, and I think it still has a reason to be there. Excalibur is, I think it's no secret, he's the best commentator they have on AEW.
Yeah.
Like he's, because he knows the wrestlers the most. He knows the moves. He's also an ex-wrestler. PWG, he's great, and he's also amazing. He's an iconic voice now in wrestling. Like
he
I
is.
think
now that he's been there for what, 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's definitely iconic.
And he gets the wrestlers over, which is accomplishing his goal. That's the reason you have him there. Now the thing is, sometimes he's talking too much, and you kind of hit on the point there. It's kind of because a lot of times JR and Tony Schiavone, JR especially, doesn't talk as much. And look, again, I'm not trying to bury JR here. It's when JR is, I think part of it is the pandemic. I think JR kind of also needs to feed off the crowd a little. And when the crowd's into it, he'll be into it more. That's not to say he hasn't lost a step, but he's older. Everyone does. That's not a bad thing. I think you still have JR there, right? But at the same time, having Schiavone there, I think at this point, you might want to think about just making him exclusive to Rampage or something, because it kind of becomes a thing where you'll hear JR and Schiavone kind of talk over each other, and it kind of distracts from what's going on, and they'll do another thing. I think AEW back in the day, like their first 3 events when they had the Golden Boy, Excalibur, and JR, that was the best commentary team they had. And I'm not talking about
the Golden Boy, dude.
I'm not talking about Marvez, by the way. I like Alex Marvez as a person, but as a commentator, he wasn't getting it done. But they had, I think it was Fight for the Fallen, Fighter Fest, and All Out. The Golden Boy was there. Man, the Golden Boy was like he was like that extra
What's his
thing.
real name?
I don't know. I don't know what his real name is, but he added something there that was it was fresh. It was fresh. It was exciting. It was a different perspective, and he was on it. And I think it helped JR out. It helped Excalibur because he wasn't the only one, calling out moves and stuff. And it helped you get a different perspective as a watcher. It made everything more palatable. And I don't know what his commitments are, but if you bring the Golden Boy in, I think that would help out the team immensely for Dynamite, especially like that because I think they had a great dynamic. There were those three. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I totally agree. Like I think that and that's what we talked about. His name is Alex Mendez.
Yep, Alex Mendez. Yep.
Yep. And the thing is, but we've talked about that. But I think that's why I enjoy Jericho on commentary. You know what I mean? Because I think he brings something fresh to the commentating team. Even Taz does too. Like I mean, even though Taz is so monotone nowadays, but
and he talks right into the mic like this.
Exactly the whole fucking time.
Peanut body bag. Oh, I'm so sorry for anyone listening. It was on podcast. I should put like a warning in. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I realized we're doing it. We're doing an audio version. Oh, no one's gonna. Oh, there goes our podcast.
Is he gonna do that every show?
I'm not. That is okay. That is the last time you'll ever hear a Taz on commentary impression from me. I apologize immensely to anyone listening to this.
But no, like I mean, I don't know. I mean, I honestly agree. It might be time to mix it up a little bit, though.
To quote Vinnie Jones at Capital Carnage '98, we're ready to mix it up. Vinny, I'm the only one who gets that reference. Vinnie Jones. It's gonna be emotional.
I love Vinny.
Vinnie Jones. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.